When you think of like ideal temperatures to run outside, this is it right here. This is the video that's kicking off marathon prep leading into the Austin Marathon, which I'm attempting to qualify for Boston. So I'll walk you through my game plan today. But like, I woke up this morning, the sun rose, and like this is it was like the perfect running temperature and weather, so I'm really excited to run. But I currently have a brisket on the Traeger. So this is attempt number 2 to make a good brisket. The first one didn't turn out as expected. It was dry, it was overcooked. It wasn't like super tender, but I changed it up a little bit today, which hopefully makes the biggest difference. Now today we are doing it low and slow. I've had this on 200 degrees overnight. This brisket has been on the Traeger overnight, and for the first like 6 hours, it was not wrapped. And then this morning, I wrapped it in butcher's paper. I got the probe in there, measuring the temperature, which it's currently at 183. Once it hits 203, it's done. I'm probably gonna turn up the temperature after my run. And I've been spraying it with, this is actually apple juice. So I put a little slit in the butcher's paper, been spraying it with apple juice to keep it moist, and we shall see how this turns out. You know, previously when I would run, I would just run in any type of sock. And I actually found that during Ironman prep, that was a big issue. I found a pair of running socks I love. It's just that going through the laundry sometimes to find a matching pair of those socks is the hardest part. These are called Feetures, Feetures. They are my favorite running socks at the moment. I highly recommend them. So today is just a quick, easy 6-mile run because like the last 10 days I've been experiencing some tight IT phone home, some tight IT band issues that through rolling it and stretching and using the power dot and actually using a Theragun at a bike shop downtown Austin this past weekend, it's loosened up a lot. So throughout this entire marathon prep, I'm gonna have to do a lot of preventative maintenance on my lower body specifically that I'll walk you guys through, just to make sure I'm healthy moving into the marathon, because my mileage is going to be very, very high on a weekly basis. And when we get back from this run, we'll walk through what the program that I'm running is going to look like. But it's pretty intensive to make sure that I can get my time as close to possible to qualify for Boston. If not at the Austin Marathon, well then a marathon soon after that. So 6 miles, here we go. Okay, so run is complete. Did 6 miles, 7:23 minute per mile pace in 44 minutes, 19 seconds. And that was today's run. First official day of marathon prep in the books. Now let's talk about that run. The first like 2 miles, my IT band was very tight. And I was kind of nervous about it, but it ended up loosening up. The one thing I do love about running in the summer or when it's really hot is you are less injury prone. At least I am. Like I'm less injury prone. Everything just feels loose. It feels fluid, and I feel like mobile. When it gets cold out and starts getting colder out, everything feels tighter, and I feel like I get injuries, or I'm more susceptible to get injuries when it's colder out. Now I had some achievements on that run. I had a 5K PR, which was 22 minutes, 27 seconds. I had a 2-mile run PR, which was 14 minutes, 10 seconds. And then other than that, I honestly wasn't focused on heart rate training for that run because it's been 10 days since I've run. I just wanted to open it up and feel it out and just like breathe in the air and run. But the rest of training for marathon prep is strictly heart rate based training. And that has been one of the biggest learning lessons that I've experienced and learned from Ironman prep that will carry over to this marathon prep and be such a game changer as opposed to my previous training seasons. All right, so we got a nice, solid, fat piece on the bottom of this brisket here. And it's safe to say that we killed this one. The trick was super low, super slow. The apple juice made it like sweet. It gives a really sweet flavor. And man, it's tender, melts in your mouth. Joe bought the brisket. He bought it. I cooked it. Try this piece right here.
That's damn good.
I think that might be like Terry Black's barbecue. It's really, really good. But after I eat Terry Black's, I always feel like really heavy. This feels like a leaner, like lighter brisket. We finally got it. We finally figured it out. Okay, so at Bear Performance Nutrition headquarters right now, and this has been added to the trucks. If you guys see me driving around in Austin, if you see a black Raptor with the red Ironman logo right there, that is my truck. That has just been added, and well, it's official. So I'm officially gonna walk you through my training program leading up to the Austin Marathon. I am doing something new. It's called the Pfitzinger Marathon Training Program. It is for more advanced runners and athletes, and coming off of Ironman prep, my aerobic threshold, my aerobic volume is already high. So I'm not able to complete the entire 18-week training program that's outlined, but I had to hop in at week 14. But because of all the volume I've been doing for the last 6 months of training, it should be fine. But we'll go inside, we'll talk about what this training program looks like, because it is high volume, it's a lot of miles per week. So the Pfitzinger Marathon Training Program, developed by Pete Pfitzinger, it is a higher volume, like I said, marathon training program for advanced runners. Now, because I'm not doing the entire 18 weeks, I have to hop in at 14 because of the timing with the Austin Marathon, February 16th. That is okay, just because I've built that base of aerobic training for the past 6 months. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I've made for the last decade of my life, whether that's training for cross country, the Army, military schools, my first 2 marathons, I did not train for heart rate. If I had to run 10 miles for the day, I just went out and ran 10 miles. I wasn't focused on any sort of heart rate. And when I incorporated that into my training the last 6 months, well, that made the biggest difference. So I'm excited to implement that into the Pfitzinger training program. Now, between now and leading up to the race, mileage is going to vary per week between 55 and 70 miles per week. Obviously, there's a taper built in at the end, so you can taper into the marathon. But 55 to 70 miles a week is what I'll be running, and it's a 6-day training program. So I'll give you an example of like what this upcoming week is going to look like. Today is Sunday. Tomorrow, Monday, will be a rest day. Mondays are rest days. Tuesday is general aerobic plus speed work. It is a 9-mile run. And Wednesday is a medium to long 14-mile run. Thursday is a 5-mile recovery run. Friday is an 11-mile medium to long run. Saturday, 5-mile recovery run. Sunday is an 18-mile long run, which finishes up the week. Now, when I say like medium to long run or recovery run, or long run, those are all described within the training programs, broken down by percentage of your heart rate. Like, you'll know what zone you're training in. Like, so for example, if there's a long/medium long run, that is 74 to 84% of your max heart rate. Recovery run, it's less than 76% of your max heart rate. General aerobic, 70 to 81% of your max heart rate. Marathon pace, 79 to 88% of your max heart rate, so on and so forth. So you use the chart that is provided for your zone training, your heart rate training, and implement that into what is provided week to week. But it is a lot of miles a week, which I've heard really good things about it, and I'm excited to implement it into my routine starting tomorrow.
Okay, so our brand is growing like crazy. We have some new employees starting, and our videographer Jordan comes down here, so it was a perfect opportunity to kind of spruce this place up and give it a little bit more of like a, I don't know, styled feel. So we decided to kind of redo this corner. We got rid of our old black leather couches and just made this more like collaborative and comfortable, and it honestly looks way better. So we got a new couch that I picked out from Living Spaces, nice little gray sectional. Got some new pillows, got this awesome rug, and then we still have the Embrace the Suck decal on this wall, which looks great over the couch, and then a little bit of Texas. What do you call this, a steer?
It's a steer.
A steer, which matches perfectly. Used to be on the other wall, moved it over here. This is the perfect little corner, so welcome to the Embrace the Suck lounge.
But as Steph was saying, our full-time videographer, Jordan Utter, him and his wife are on their way down from Ohio to Texas right now, and he is joining the team full-time, which is going to be game-changing for Barrett Performance Nutrition and the team here, just because like the amount of content that we are going to be able to produce and put out there with someone full-time in-house will help out tremendously. Like for the past 12 months plus, we've been outsourcing some work or hiring freelance photographers and videographers to come do projects with us and work on some things. But it's never the same when you don't have someone in-house full-time, like that truly understands and sees your vision and is a part of the process every single day in and day out. So I am super excited. He starts Thursday, and that's going to help out with things tremendously. But right now our main focus short term, from what we're looking at right now, Black Friday. Black Friday, our sale launches on November 28th, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's for 48 hours. And I'll be pushing all the information on my Instagram, on Barrett Performance Nutrition's Instagram, through email campaigns. But we're excited to take you guys behind the scenes of that process because that's a big one. So we are fully stocked up and prepared for Black Friday. So this is all inventory we got in this past week. These shelves are full. All of these shelves are full. We have one more shipment of things coming in before the sale actually goes live, but we are loaded up with inventory, so we should have no issues. And then packing materials we're even loaded up on, ready to go. So our projections and our forward planning for this year has been spot on. That is a Sunday and the first official day of marathon prep. Now, earlier, like I stated, when you get an injury, whether that's in the gym or that's running or it's in a sport, coming back, you're always worried about it. And that first mile and a half this morning, my IT band was super tight. And after that, it loosened up, and it's been loose the entire day. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to keep doing my recovery protocols. So those recovery protocols through this entire season are going to be using the ice bath that arrives tomorrow. I'm going to install, and I'm pretty psyched about that. Ice bath. I'm going to be doing a lot of foam rolling this season, I'm using the Power Dot and a Theragun. I got to get a Theragun because that made a big difference. And active passive stretching. And that's one of those things when you don't have an injury or something doesn't hurt or something's not nagging, you take for granted, and you kind of just say I'm not going to do this kind of stuff. Well, that's preventative. And I'm myself get really bad at this as well. But because of the amount of volume, the amount of miles I'm going to be doing this year, it's more important than ever. Because you look at training for a triathlon, and I had no injuries, nothing hurt then. The thing with triathlon is you're rotating between different aerobic systems. You have swimming, you have biking, you have running. So the impacts are different. With training for a marathon, the impact is the same. It's running. In my case, 6 out of 7 days a week right now. So preventative maintenance, it's super important. So let's go. Day 1 of marathon prep. And then February 16th, we see if we can qualify for Boston.